Kenny from Hangar 51 here. Today we're going to build a tricopter. I'm going to do things a little different than you may have seen on other videos, and I'll explain my differences and why. But if you haven't been on YouTube looking at, there's a guy named Matt Hall, simplecopters.com. Very good videos. He does a great job. He has some great advice. So when you're done watching my video, go watch his. He's got a bunch of them out there, very informative, give you some good advice. So definitely go see Matt's stuff. Also, Dave Vindestål from Sweden. You can find him on RC Explorer, and also he has done some stuff for Flight Test. Also very informative stuff. Have different ideas on what to do, and I'm going to throw another idea in there. You just decide what works for you. I have a very different idea of what I want to do, but I've used a lot of Matt's advice and some of David's as well. So when you're done watching my video, go watch theirs, and when you're done with all that, you should know what you're going to do for a tricopter. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is show you what I got and what you're going to need and where I got mine and why. So here we go. Okay. So first thing we're going to need, we need some 14 gauge wire. I got two different kinds here. It doesn't matter which one you use. This is the standard hard, like a vinyl type casing, kind of rigid. And this one is what I use. This is a silicone based, very flexible. Either one works, doesn't make any difference. Red and black, so you're going to need some wire. 4 motors, well, 3 motors. I got 4, I'll explain that. But 3 motors. These are 2212s, 1000 kV motors. I don't know what brand they are. They're a no-name brand because I bought them in a kit. I'm going to explain that here in a second. Speed controls. These are Simon K Flash 30 amp speed controls. Again, I got 4 of these. I'm only going to need 3 for the tricopter, but my kit also, what I'm building is convertible to a V-tail, so it will need 4. So you're going to need 4 eventually if you do a V-tail. 4 propellers came in the kit as well. 4 speed controls right here. Some heat shrink. This is for you, Matt. 3M. This is molding adhesive, molding and emblem adhesive. You were looking for black. You can get this in black or charcoal gray. This is the charcoal gray, very dark tape. It's almost black, but you can get it in black as well. 3M makes it. So you need some tape. Solder. I'm using 1032 nylon bolts to hold mine together. This is plywood body that I made. This is my kit. I'll show you how and why I did that. This is 3/32 ply, 12 by 6. This is the top plate, and this is the bottom plate. Now this configuration is designed for tricopter, T-copter, or a V-tail. You can do all 3 configurations from here. And okay, so that's what you're going to need pretty much, and of course your radio, a flight control board, which I got also in this kit. This is the KK board, not the KK2. This is the one you need to program. Here's the programming harness. It came with the kit. I bought a kit off of eBay for 116 bucks, and it came with 4 aluminum booms, which you don't want to use. The harmonics in the aluminum. You know, any vibration that comes out of the motor and the propeller and everything that has any kind of harmonic value is going to be transferred right through the aluminum, right to your camera, especially if you're flying FPV, and it's going to just mess up the signal. The wood has a nice buffering effect to it. It softens the signal. So you definitely want to use wood booms in your build, not these aluminum ones. So I've got a bunch of booms here. Again, doing things a little different. These are balsa wood booms. Why did I go with balsa wood? Because it's light, very, very light. I know it's not strong, but these are almost one by one. Now this is pine. These two are pine booms. I've done pine. I've done balsa. This is my first tricopter. The balsa might turn out to be a bad idea. I did it for weight. I'm going to show you why. But if it's not strong enough, no problem. This is a pine wood boom. So I've also experimented with some lengths. I've got a bunch of them made. These are 12-inch. I've got some 16-inch. The 16-inch I can cut down to 14, 13, whatever, under 16. I don't think I need anything bigger than 16, so that's why I went with that. And that's going to get us pretty close to where we need to be. So now I'm doing things, I'm not painting this. I'm going to monocoat it. If you haven't done any monocoat before, I'm going to show you how easy that is. Getting rid of the... Okay, well, hang on. Let me back up. So I bought this kit. Now this kit came with these 4 booms, 4 motors, 4 propellers, 2 left-hand, clockwise, 2 counterclockwise. This whole body kit with landing gear and all that. The flight control board, all the hardware, distribution for the battery. It's a distribution board. You can solder all the batteries to this board for distribution, which would replace the harness I made. I'll show you the harness in a minute. And the 4 speed controls, and these are Simon K speed controls. So basically, this is everything you need in the kit. Metal hardware to build the copter. Very heavy, aluminum booms. Just, I didn't like the idea at all. But I couldn't buy it this cheap individually. $116 for 4 Simon K speed controls, 4 2212 motors, 4 propellers, the KK2 flight control board with the programmer, heat shrink, all the bullets for the motors, which I already put on. Basically everything you need to build this thing, less a speed control and a battery, radio equipment. It's all here, but it's heavy, and it's not very versatile. And this is designed to be your standard X-copter, quadcopter, standard thing. So okay, so the motors are going to be the same. We don't need to weigh them. They're the same motors whether I fly them on my board stuff or theirs. Okay, so we can eliminate that. So really we're looking at their body kit, which is all carbon fiber board. Their aluminum booms. The flight controller's the same, so we don't need that. Their hardware. So basically, speed controls are the same, so we don't need to weigh those. They're going to be the same on both. So here's the difference. Their body, and I'll even do it with 4, just to keep it even. My body, my upper and lower wood, plywood plates, my 4 balsa wood booms. This one's not very pretty. Sorry about that, but it'll work. We'll replace it with that one. So I got my 4 balsa wood booms, my body and my 8 nylon bolts to hold it together. Okay? So that's my complete kit. Their complete kit. So let's wait and see what the difference is. I bought this nice handy dandy little gram scale here, or ounce scale. So let's turn that on, and I'm going to come around the other side of the camera. So it's in pounds and ounces right now. I'm going to change it to just ounces. And let's weigh their stuff. So let's start with the 4 booms. Let's put them this way so they're not blocking the display. There's the 4 booms. Their carbon fiber kit. Their hardware kit. This is the distribution board. That's not even actually all of it. There's another piece, but you get the idea. There's a huge difference. So we're at 13.95 ounces. Okay? 13.95 ounces for a bare body. No electronics, no motors, battery, nothing. That's just the bare. So that's weight that you got to carry on top of the rest. And if you're going to put a camera for FPV or whatever, that's just more weight. So that's theirs. Okay, now let's see what mine weighs. So here's my complete configuration. 9 ounces. 9.05. 9.05 ounces. That's a quad setup. We're building a tricopter. I was going to remove one. So now I'm down to 8.25 for my tricopter. 8.25 ounces versus their almost 14 ounces. So it's a huge difference in weight here. And that's mainly the reason I did this. Because weight equals flight time. The less weight, more flight time. So I'm doing everything I can to make it light. Durability is not a big issue right now. If I start stunting it like Matt does, which is, he does an incredible job. You're really going to enjoy watching him if you haven't already seen it. But my first priority was weight because I want to make this an FPV rig. So durability, I mean, I can swap an arm out in seconds. So here's a balsa wood arm, here's the pine wood arm. You know, the difference between the two is substantial. Okay, the balsa wood arm, 0.8 ounces. The pine arm, 2.2 ounces. So, huge difference. You know, physically, you know, they're the same height. This is about a 1x1, and this is about a 3/4x1. The pine's a little harder. I've got it the height-wise because I wanted the distance between the boards, but they're already pre-drilled. But that's the difference. You know, 2.2 for the pine versus 0.8 for the balsa. So there's a lot of the weight savings right there. If I'm not flying FPV and I'm going to stunt the thing, well, then we can put the pine ones on, and that would be a little more durable. So, nylon. The nylon bolts, why nylon? A weakest link. If I'm going to hit the ground and break something, you know, these are like a couple bucks. I'd rather break the nylon bolt, have everything else saved. I don't have to make new booms. I don't have to make new body. Just replace a nylon bolt. So that's the reason for that. So let's get started with. I think we'll start with. Let me show you how to monocoat one of these arms. It's a pretty simple process. So let's pick, we'll do this one. This is a nice looking arm. Okay, so we're going to start with the arm. Let's turn my scale off. Move that out of the way. I don't need that right now. Here's a pre-cut piece of monocoat. I went with orange because that's what I had laying around. You can go with whatever color you want. It comes in a lot of colors. Transparent blue. A couple rolls of transparent green. Got red. white. I went with orange because it's visible. It's high visibility. You're going to need either a regular household iron, or a monocoat iron. Now, I do have a monocoat iron, but I don't know where it is. It just moved. Can't find anything. Still trying to unpack. Household iron will work. Monocoat iron is a little better, a little easier to work with, but it's not a necessity. If you don't have one, you don't want to spend the $15-20 for one, and you got an old iron at the house, it works just fine. You're also going to need a heat gun. So I've got this heat gun from Harbor Freight. I think it was $12. I think it's a free giveaway when their coupon's out. So you might want to go with one of those. Okay. So this weighs nothing. We can get the scale back out, but I don't even know if it'll read. Versus paint. I know paint doesn't seem like it weighs anything, but you got to remember that whatever's in that can, minus the weight of the can, is what paint weighs. So if you put a whole can of paint on one of these things, okay, so it's 0.15 ounces. That's what this weighs, and that's not even accurate because we got to pull the backing off to put this on. So let's actually pull that off. Hang on a second here. I bite my nails, no fingernails. So, okay. So we took the backing off, and now we're ready to go. 0.1. Okay, so 0.1 ounces. That's all this stuff weighs. Okay? So here's what you're going to do. You're going to wrap this around the boom. Okay? So here's what you do. Now I've got the holes here because I want top and bottom. Okay, and we're going to start on the bottom just to keep it looking good. And we're going to roll this over here like that, and we're going to just tack it down there a little bit, and we're going to tack it there a little bit, and then we're going to tack it over here a little bit. Okay. And then you just pull it around like this. Don't worry about the wrinkles. They're all going to go away here in a second. You wrap it around like that. And you heat it again. Okay. And then we're going to tack it down here on the end a little bit. Now the iron's set very low. It's on setting 1. This is very low heat stuff. Doesn't require a lot of heat. So, okay. So, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and finish tacking the whole edge here, because sometimes it likes to shrivel up the wrong way. And when I say shrivel up, I mean it shrinks. This is shrinkable stuff. And if it shrinks the wrong way, on the bottom especially, it wrecks your... Okay, so there's the bottom ironed on. Okay, the sides are all loose. That's where the heat gun comes in. Okay, so we turn the heat gun on, and you gently start on the edges here. Now you can, if you want, you can fold this over, make cuts. You want to close up the end, that's fine. I'm not going to do that because I'm just doing it to make it pretty, not waterproof or anything, so I really don't care that the end is covered. I'm going to just trim that all off at the end. So, not a big concern of mine. Okay, so that ends And then we're going to go down here and do this end. Okay, so now the ends are done. We got the bottom. So now we're going to just finish it off by shrinking up the rest of it. And you just work it around on each side. Try to pull it down evenly. It's not rocket science, guys. This is really easy stuff to do. And there you have it. There you got a perfect, smooth, very shiny, pretty color. Like I said, it comes in all colors. And done. So, not waiting for paint to dry. This is a perfect finish. Very glossy, shiny. Comes in fluorescent colors too. So, and it weighs nothing. So, you know, I added 0.1 ounces to the total weight by covering it like that. I bet you'll have more weight than that if you paint it. I guarantee you're going to put more than 0.1 ounces of paint on it. So there you have it. Now, the only thing you want to do, you want to locate your holes. It mounts this to the copter. And I covered them up pretty well, but I know that they're on this side. This is the bottom, so the holes are here somewhere. Okay, here they are. So the holes are here. So this is the end that the motor's going on. So we're going to flip it over, 180 over, and you gotta, because you're going to tape the motor here and then tie wrap it, you want to make sure that this part is firmly attached to the wood. So you're going to iron that end. Couple strokes like that over the end, just to really iron that monocoat down to the wood so it's adhered to the wood really hard. The rest of it doesn't matter. It can be loose. It doesn't show. It's nice and tight. But where the motor's going to actually mount, you want that ironed on hard. So that's how you do that. Okay, and then we're going to just take a razor blade and trim off this excess. Get rid of this poor looking end. Pretty it up. Just take the razor blade and you trim that off. Just like that. Same thing over here. Same thing, just trim this off. This stuff adds some strength to it too. It's not just for looks. This stuff is very, very tough when it's ironed on. They use it for monocoating a ribbed wing, a balsa ribbed wing, and it adds a lot of strength to the wing when you add this stuff to it. So it's not just for looks. But there you go. So now the ends are trimmed off. You know, looks good, and we got this ironed down to tape the motor to. So there you have it. So I've already pre-done the rest of these. So here we got a pile of balsa ones here. There's 5 of them already covered, ready to go. And then I've got my 16-inch pine, the pine wood ones, and they're a little longer, but I can cut them down if I decide I want to. So we're ready to go with that. That's simple. I'm going to monocoat this as well, so we'll get to that in a minute. Don't know what color I'm going to use, just going to get creative. I want some colors on it to make it visible. That's my biggest thing, is that I want visibility. If it crashes, I want to be able to find it. You know, if I'm FPVing and it goes down somewhere and I don't know where it went down, I want to be able to find the thing. So I'm going to make it bright colors on purpose, so that if I lose it, I can find it. Okay, so let's move on. I just want to show you what I made here, and I'm going to tell you why. Here's my harness. This is my wiring harness for the copter. Now this is, you know, and I'm going to lay this out here so you guys can get a nice look at it. If you want to freeze frame the picture to figure out, you know, what I'm doing here. But this basically is a one harness fits all configuration, and I did that because, just like Matt, I don't want to solder any more than I have to, and I don't want to make more than one harness. I don't have any reason to hardwire the harness to the copter. If I built multiple copters, I can just take the harness out of one and put it in the next one. That's why it's got plugs on it. Okay, and I have extra plugs on it, and I'm going to show you why later. But this is, you know, so there's 2, 4, 6, there's 7 plugs on it. There's 4 that look like battery plugs, you know, what would come on the end of the battery, and 3 what the battery plugs into. And you're asking, why 4 and 3? I'm going to get to that. But there's a good picture of my layout. I'm going to show you how I made it. It's real simple. Okay, so here's how I made my wiring harness. You're going to need about 5 inches long. It's not exact. Your size may vary. 3 pieces of wire. Strip the ends, tint it, and we're going to just solder it together. Actually, we'll just flip that over like that, put that like that. Okay, so let that set up. Okay, so that's like that, and we're going to put this shrink tubing right over it like this. Heat gun. Okay, so what does that mean? That made, basically, get my harness back out, lay that down, and that joint is basically this whole harness. You know, there you go. There's 2 there and the 1 there. Same thing here. You got 2 there, 1 here. So once you've made that 2 or 3 times, and then you just put them all together, that's what the whole harness is made of. That simple joint. Okay? So you're going to turn that, what I just did, and that, I don't care what you guys say, that's not coming apart. You couldn't pull that apart if you wanted to. And remember, it's an electrical connection. It's not, we're not holding the bridge together with it. We're just electricity. It'll work fine. And so that's what that, you turn that into this. Simple. Easy peasy. Now that was for you, Matt. Okay. So what's next? I think we're gonna go ahead and monocoat this. And I'm not gonna do it on camera. I might do the last bit of it on camera, but it's basically the same thing I did with the boom. Probably going to do a couple different colors, so I'm going to turn the camera off for a second, and then I'll finish it up and show you how that came out. Okay, so I'm back. It's an iron-on product, this monocoat, and it sticks to itself very well. So I did the bottom side first, and you do the top side, and you roll it over. And the compound curves, you just, you cut it, and then you do this. Just pull it over. And iron it down. Pull the next one over. Down. So let's do the corners. And then we're just going to wrap this around that. This. And like this. And go on the left side where the hole is. And then there you have a nice clean hole. We'll do the same thing here. I'm going to shorten these up a little bit. Okay, same thing. Gonna pull this over. Take it down. Pull this one over. Take it down. That didn't work out so good, but we'll fix that, no big deal. And the last one. And same thing, I'm just gonna keep this up real good. There you go. Okay guys, I'm back. Didn't have any white monocoat, so I went with black. I'm not really crazy about this color combo, but hey, it'll work. Good enough for now. So, anyway. So here's green top plate, black bottom plate. Had a set of black landing gear from my helicopter. Threw them on there. Works alright. Not bad. Okay, so I've already started mounting my stuff. Here's one of the speed controls on the back. This is actually Matt Hall's system here, this little block of wood. It's a temporary. I got to come up with a better rod. This one's not going in deep enough, but that's what it's going to look like. So, and then we got to put the front motors on. So I got to cut me some tape. Where are my scissors? Here they are. Okay. So we're going to cut ourselves some tape here. This stuff is really sticky. So we need a piece of tape here. And a piece of tape here. Just like that. Leave the bearing open. Slide one of these on first. Wires going forward. Take the motor. Now, staggering these was Matt's idea. I like it. I think he's right. I think it's a good idea to have one pulling one way, the other pulling the other, to pull it even. So, not taking credit for Matt's work, just giving credit where credit's due. Like I said, when you're done watching this video, if you haven't seen Matt's, simplecopter.com, go see Matt's videos. He's got some really good stuff. And I do have a pair of tie wrap pliers, but again, the balsa's too soft to use it. I can't pull it that tight, so. Okay. So let's get back to my design for 1 second. I just want to go over something with you here. What's unique about my setup is all the booms are identical. They're all drilled identically. Any boom can go in any position, so you only have to carry one kind of boom with you, and it goes in any position. So that's part of it. The other part of it is this is set up to be a tricopter. If I wanted to make it a T-copter, all I do is move these two screws here to here. Okay? All these are doing is causing some tension to squeeze on the arm. The arm folds. Okay? that it locks in position there because it gets tight because that's tightening down. So it's pretty snug at that point. Same thing's going to happen when I move the screw here, but it's going to get tight right here in this position. Now it's a T-copter. So I just move these to here, tighten them down so that it puts some pressure on it, squeezes it, and they'll lock in that position, but they still fold. Okay, so that's my difference here. And then this is also drilled to be a V-tail. I just move this boom to this position, and I add one more boom to this position here, just like this. So, now, there are the holes, but you just take the hole, you put it in here just like that. You take that one and you put it over there, and now it's a V-tail. So this one configuration works in any configuration you want to make it. So that's the other part about this that I made. And I'll show you that setup on my next video. So, but for today, I'm going to lock those in that position. It's a tricopter. Okay, so we got to put a couple speed controls on it. So let me grab these. I don't need that one. So this is going to go right here like this. And I might have to change these wires around after I hook it up to see if they're spinning the right way. But for now, just to get the speed control mounted in the right spot, which I'm going to mount it right on top here and let the wires go down inside here just like this. So let's tie that down. That one's going that way, so we're going to make this one go this way. And these are just long enough to catch. Very light pressure on these. Nothing's going to damage anything. It doesn't need to be. It's not going anywhere. So you definitely don't need to pull hard down on these. Okay, left the wires loose here. In the event of a crash, the motor leaves. Hopefully it just comes unplugged here. Saves the motor. Again, it's balsa wood being boom, so who knows? The boom might break. Doesn't matter. I mean, even if it does, you know, I've got extras already. You know, a couple cents worth of balsa. No big deal. So the big thing is hoping the motor unplugs and we don't ruin the motor, because if it rips out of the can, then it's paperweight. So we don't want that. Okay, so let's cut those off. Like that. And one more. up here on top. Like that. Tie wraps. That one's going that way. This one going this way. And the same thing, like the wire's going over this way. That gives me room for this to fold. So, okay. Okay, I'm back. And we've got our speed controls mounted. I'll slide that towards to here. Okay. Alright, now, the harness, the main harness. Okay, now you may or may not have noticed, I have plugs on everything. Okay, plugs. Nothing's hardwired. There's a reason for that. I'm cheap. I can't afford to buy speed controls and motors for every airplane, copter that I own. So I need to be able to come in and out of one to the other. And that's why I built this harness the way I did, with plugs. So let's assume for a second that I just took this out of one tricopter and I'm going to put it in the other. Literally, this is how fast it can go in. Alright? So it's designed to just slide right in from the side. I believe that's the front. Okay, got it right here. Hang on one second. Let me make sure. Okay. Alright, so here's what we got. I'm just going to slide this in the side just like this. Right past the control board that would be right there. We're going to just slide it through here. Just like that. It's going to go around the side here and into the back like this. Okay? And then we're just going to plug it in. So, basically, that would be plugged into the controller. So we bring this out. And this plugs in just like that. And this one over here is going to plug in like that. And the back one here plugs in just like this. Okay. And then I could, take the wires inside or do something with them. That's not really a big concern. The fact that it's easy access is what I was really going after here. But now I've got these extra plugs. What are those for? Okay, I'm glad you asked. I can mount a battery pack here, and I plug it in here. I can mount a battery pack here, and I can plug it in here. Or I can mount a battery pack here, and I can plug it in here. And that's by design, because depending on whether I've got flight gear, a camera, or I'm running dual batteries, which I could put one here, and plug it in here, and put one here, and plug it in either back here or up here. I can plug in nav lights for night flying, all kinds of things. So the extra plugs are there on purpose to give me versatility. And this plug, which is not being utilized at the moment, is for the fourth speed control. When I make it a V-tail, it's already wired for it, and this one plugs in right here, just like that. And that one would be on the other boom, going to the other controller. So that's what all the extra plugs are for. That's why I ran it with plugs. I can literally just take this harness out of this copter, put it in another one. If I crash this one, if I've built a new one, I'm going to try that one out, it all just plug and play. I just unplug it all, take it and put it in the other one. So I didn't want to build more than one harness, so that's the reason for that. And also, I wanted to be able to fly dual batteries, even tri-batteries. I could put 3 battery packs in there. Now this is important, guys. If you're going to run multiple battery packs, you have got to make sure that they are the same exact batteries. Okay? I mean, I even recommend you buy 3 from the same lot, same brand, everything, because whichever battery pack is the weakest is the one that's going to die when you're flying multiple batteries, because the other packs are going to carry on. And you're going to bring the voltage down below minimum on the weak pack, and you're going to ruin it. So, I'm telling you, it's important that you balance charge. If you're going to run multi-packs, you got to use identical packs, balance charge them before you go out. I even recommend, if you can, buy them in the same lot so that they're as matched as possible, because the weak cell is going to die and kill that battery pack. It's crucial that you don't overextend the one pack and be flying on the other. And you absolutely can't run a 4-cell pack and a 3-cell pack together. That's just a bad idea. I mean, it's not going to blow anything up if you do that. It's still only going to be a the total voltage is going to be the 4-cell, but you're going to be drawing this pack way down because it's trying to keep up with the 4 cells. It's not a good idea. I'm not saying it won't work. You could plug it in, it'll physically work, but you're going to ruin a battery pack. So I wouldn't do it. Don't do it. Make sure you have matching battery packs. It's very important. These lipos are very, very touchy. If you're flying night cabs like I used to, old school stuff, little background on me, I've been flying since '73. I started this. As a matter of fact, this is my very first radio. Series 70 Craft radio. That was the first radio I flew with. Still have it. But so I've got some history. Been doing this a while. This is my first tricopter. I've done mostly airplanes, helicopters, that kind of stuff. But this, you know, really, after watching Matt fly his and seeing the stuff that David's done with his, I got to build one. So here it is. Here's the tilt mechanism. Still got to put a servo on it. Still waiting for that to come in. Don't have it yet. I've got old servos from old radio gear. This stuff here, but I don't want to fly it. So I'm waiting for the new stuff to come in. This is very old, big, clunky. Not going to put it on. I'll just wait. So I'm waiting for that. But I'm going to do another video. Once I get this one done and we go fly it, then I'm going to do another video and show you how easy this is to convert from a tricopter to a V-tail. You know, it'll literally take less than 10 minutes to change the configuration because everything's plug and play. You just got to unbolt, move it over here, bolt another one over here, which will already have the motor. You know, I'll have it pre-mounted because, again, the motor will be on a block like this, but you know, I can take it off that block, strap it to another boom, and move it over here. I mean, all the booms are the same, and that's by design. So, and then if I decide to go with the hardwood and the longer booms, that's why this wire's got extra wire, because they're actually designed for these long booms. So if I put the long boom on it, it's going to move the motor out that much farther, and I'm going to need this extra wire to make it the rest of the trip. So it was measured for the long boom. That's why I've got this extra, but it's not a problem. It's not in the way. Everything's fine. This still folds, you know, in the event of a crash. These fold back. So there you have it. That's where we're at. More to come. All right.